What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for another throwback review. A lot of you guys had been talking for years about me tackling an older Arctic Monkeys record, a rock band from the UK. Definitely interested in them, really like their material, so I figured it was finally time to break out a review of Favorite Worst Nightmare. A lot of good memories with this album. In fact, it was my first Arctic Monkeys record. The first song that I heard from them was Fluorescent Adolescence, back to back with I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. Two fantastic jams. I heard them on Fuse in a block called Loaded where they would play a band's music videos back to back to back, and I caught the last two. Those were the ones that they played, and unfortunately at the time we didn't have DVR or anything like that, so I couldn't go back hear the rest of the songs, but I actually ended up recording both of those on a VCR tape, and I would play them back over and over again, and I just think still to this day that Fluorescent Adolescence is one of the catchiest songs that I have ever heard. There was something so inviting about it, and even though I didn't understand the lyrical content at the time, it's a song that is definitely applicable now to my life. It's a song about growing older and finding out that things aren't always as fun and as youthful and as effervescent as they were before. And it's not a sad song, I don't think. It's just an eye-opener. And I see Alex Turner, the frontman of this band, really just coming to terms with a lot of things on this record. And it's just so well done on nearly every level. It's just impeccable songwriting matched with these epic instrumentals that are just very hard-hitting, very loose, but still structured at times, and they just know how to balance things and make a record that hits home. Now, I will eventually talk about more Arctic Monkeys records, but I want to look at this one by itself for a reason, just because there's so many moments here that deserve to not be compared to something else because they're just simply fantastic as they are. Favorite Worst Nightmare mainly focuses on breakups, really relationships in general, taking things for granted, and then coming back and appreciating things and just reflecting on life in general. And I know that might not sound like the most original concepts ever, but really you think about it, you're kind of in a box as a songwriter. You're writing about things that happen to you in your life, and it's what you do to make them stand out that make these songs hit home nearly a decade later. And clearly the Arctic Monkeys did something right, because this is one that goes down in my books as one of the best albums made, one of the best rock albums made in the 2000s. They comment on their newfound fame in Teddy Picker, just a really ferocious track that really picks up in its latter half. I love how intense it gets. And then of course you've got a song that seems like it's all about cheating with the bad thing and feeling guilt, but at the same time not really. Just a really encapsulating tune that just really had my attention from first listen. And then 505, one that just starts off with this really cool sample from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, an old Western film, and just kind of slowly works its way up to this drum battering, guitar laden track that sees Alex Turner crying out for this love that he has. Apparently they've been through a lot. I'm going back to 505, whether it's a 7-hour flight or a 45-minute drive, whatever it takes, I am getting back to this girl because in my mind, she's laying there, hands between the thighs, ready to go. Let's get it on. And I love how sexually tinged the track is, but at the same time, just how fun and reminiscent it is. It reminds me of other works that are just so great, and I love seeing the Arctic Monkeys doing such a fantastic job here. Speaking of affairs, Balaclava is another one that plays that angle, just kind of works it like it's almost like a break-in robbery type scenario, like go in, get it done, and then get out. It's one of those things that almost is like a bank heist, but at the same time, you're talking about cheating on your significant other, or else being with someone that is cheating on their significant other. And I love the dark guitar strokes on this track, just really shapes it up, and just the bass work. And I have to give a compliment to not only this one, but really all throughout, just how well played and menacing some of these guitar tones are. They're very heavy for a band that was considered kind of almost indie rock and garage rock revivalist, just doing things a little bit heavier this time. If you want more of those hard-hitting moments, they actually come back to back to back in some of the Arctic Monkeys' fiercest moments that they've ever put to tape, and those are Do Me a Favor, This House is a Circus, and If You Were There, Beware. Some of my favorite tracks, and just such a intense part of this record that I thoroughly love. Do Me a Favor is a track that is all about a breakup, basically just saying, get the fuck out. Do whatever it takes. Push me away. Do whatever you must. But let's just get this over with. And I love the part of the track where Turner starts singing, "Do me a favor," and the drums are just pounding relentlessly. It's not that they're necessarily mixing things up, but it's the fact that they're driving so hard along with the guitar riffs that are slid in between. Just sounds like ecstasy. If you're not fully enveloped in This House is a Circus with its incredible storytelling on the track and just the headbang worthy guitar riffs that cut through, then you're doing something wrong. This track is absolutely wonderful. I love everything about it. And then the one that comes right after it, they seem to kind of seamlessly blend together. Not the fact that they don't have distinct identities, but it's just the fact that they run together so well. It's almost like a two-part song that gets the job done so well, but are about two totally different things. If You Were There, Beware is another one that just really cuts in with those guitar riffs. It goes hard. It's a perfect example of the band finding perfect middle ground between restraint and fury, as the track starts off with an attack coming right out of that track, This House is a Circus, and then it kind of balances it off with a nice steady bass line, and then right before it gets to the chorus, I love the little guitar melody that goes up and down the scales there before really crashing back into it and sending things over the moon. Brian Storm kicks off this record with an enjoyable narrative, and then of course D is for Dangerous, another track that definitely sees a relationship not exactly going the way planned. I think those are two of my favorite examples of the stories getting across, especially D is for Dangerous. I love the progression that we see throughout that track. D standing for dangerous, D standing for this, and we kind of move forward in the character's story. The two cuts that took the longest to grow on me were Old Yellow Bricks, which I probably came around on first. It's a track about kind of like hating your hometown, but at the same time realizing that it's not that great once you get out. Probably the Arctic Monkeys touring the world, and they were like, oh, maybe I actually miss home. Things aren't exactly as great on the other side as I would have expected. Just really started to click with me more and more through the years as I gave the album more plays, but the one that took the longest for me was Only Ones Who Know. It's a track that's more of a ballad style, and it's very restrained, and it just doesn't match the rest of the record, but at the same time, I don't think that it's an alien here. I don't think that it sticks out like a sore thumb, and that's quite fortunate because at first I did feel that way, but once you actually give it the chance, don't just look at it as a slow song, look at it as a song about a relationship and looking for maybe the reasons why things didn't work out, why things took a dive off of a cliff, if you will, and I've truly come to appreciate it at this point. Overall, Favorite Worst Nightmare is a fantastic record. I definitely recommend you guys checking it out. If you want to hear it in full, you can check out the link in the description down below, along with everything else that I have, like my Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Me personally, love this record, of course. Definitely see it as a classic. It's a 5 out of 5, quite easily, from me. What do you guys think of this record, and what do you think of Arctic Monkeys in general? Should I do a top 10 countdown for them? And of course, yes, the top 10s are returning, starting next week with top 10 Muse songs. Thanks so much for watching, hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If you would like to see another Arctic Monkeys review or the last review that I did on this channel, you can click the little annotations that are floating directly below me. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV. Now, I'm off to my best friend's wedding.